this video in regards to Mr. Thayer and Miss Buckley. In the following video, you're going to hear a conversation that Mr. Thayer had with another individual in regards to claims of child abduction made by We the People Tyrant Wars. Mr. Thayer made it known to a lot of people that in his belief, We the People Tyrant Wars is abducting kids, are pedophiles, and when confronted, well, let's listen to the video first, then we'll discuss. Here you go.
Make up your mind.
Tell me about how We the People Tyrant Wars is involved with child abductions.
Okay, I think it's quite simple. He said that he was going to pass along all of my personal information along to Mouse and a one Tommy, who is known as a child abductor. In addition to that, you have Beware Mouse that has, been going around and, in my opinion, stalking 303 and his 6 children at the hotel.
Right.
And I believe that is the connection that connects him to the child abduction. Now, beyond that,
No. What child abductions? Specifically.
So Tommy's the only one so far that has been convicted of child abduction.
How is We the People Tyrant War? No. Yeah, fine. So Thomas Shrub, we get it. How is We the People Tyrant Wars involved in a child abduction that took place before he met the person who did the child, who was investigated for that, who allegedly abducted that child? How is We the People Tyrant Wars involved with that abduction?
I don't believe he was involved in that abduction.
So what abductions is he involved with?
I personally believe that someone like Tommy is waiting to abduct more kids.
No. What abductions?
Okay. I would like to specify. I would like to specify and finish my statement.
Abductions. You understand, right?
I did not hear what you said. Say again.
Historic abductions, i.e., abductions that have already taken place.
I'm not saying there was any. Not on We the People's behalf. However, I do believe he's targeted. Historically, he has targeted children.
Yeah. Whatever bullshit you're saying is relevant.
Okay, you heard it. Now, let's break it down. Rewind, and we're going to make individual stops to make a little commentary.
Make up your mind.
Tell me about how We the People Tyrant Wars is involved with child abductions.
Okay, I think it's quite simple. He said that he was going to pass along all of my personal information along to Mouse and a one Tommy, who is known as a child abductor. In addition to that,
now, we don't know who Tommy is, and we would like Mr. Thayer to produce anything that we stated that we were going to give personal information to Mouse and the other individual, which we have no idea who the fuck they are, which we have no idea who that is. But we want to know evidence that we stated Mouse can have personal information on this person. We did say that if anyone wants any information that we have that is publicly available, even Mouse, we would share it with anyone. I mean, really mentally ill with you. But let me say this to Mouse or anyone that's suing this motherfucker. If you need any material from us, email us and we'll give it to you. We don't give a shit. Take him down. That's it. Even Mouse. Doesn't say only Mouse. Even, which means everyone. We made an emphasis on Mouse is because Mr. Thayer made it an emphasis when he stated that we were tied with him, and he was under the impression that by stating that he would try to scare us away, which it did not work. So we wanted to make it clear to him that we are not scared of him, and we are not scared of whomever wants public information that we will provide to them. But let's hear what he said again.
He said that he was going to pass along all of my personal information along to Mouse. He said that he was going to pass along all of my personal information along to Mouse and a one Tommy, who is known as a child abductor.
You heard it. He said that we were going to provide personal information on him to those 2 individuals. So we want evidence of that claim. If not, it's defamation. It also created a whole series of events ever since, which we have documented on reference videos and also submitted. Moving on.
You have Beware Mouse that has, been going around and, in my opinion, stalking 303 and his 6 children at the hotel.
Right.
And I believe that is the connection that connects him to the child abduction.
Now, he just stated that because he felt that we stated that we were going to provide all personal information to Mouse and the other individual, and that the fact that Mouse in his opinion, was stalking Mr. 303, that because of that, that ties us to child abduction. Now let's go through it again, because he stated we were going to give information, which is not proven, information, his personal information, to Mouse and the other individual that was allegedly involved in child abduction, because we stated we were going to give information, and because Mouse was stalking Mr. 303's children, that tied us to child abduction. So basically what he's stating is, if anyone gives anything to anyone, you are now responsible for everything they do. So the government, I think, should be held responsible for providing public information to the public, even pedophiles. So then that means the government, the city and the state is responsible for child abductions, because you are providing information that's publicly available. You can get a public request without giving any personal information in most states. Anyone can request a public record. So is the government responsible for child abductions? If Mouse went in, requested a public records anonymously, does that mean because Mouse knows another person that was alleged to abduct children, that by de facto the government is now responsible for all child abductions that are taking place because you provided legally public information? That is his logic. That's it right there. That is what ties We the People Tyrant Wars to child abductions. You have to list that. I know it takes a little bit of sinking in, like people are taking a double take, but that's what he's stating. Okay, moving on.
Now beyond that,
No. What child abductions specifically?
So Tommy's the only one so far that has been
Hang on.
convicted of
How is
child abduction. However,
Here you go. How is it tied to child abduction? He names the individual and stating that that individual is the only one tied to child abduction. But a little while he stated that we were involved in child abduction, but now it's only that person. So right now we have individuals offering public information to another individual, and because that individual offered public information to a convicted child molester, that by de facto makes the person providing public information, like the city and the government and the state, complicit in Mouse knowing alleged child abductor in child abducting. I know it's a little all over the place, but listen. So again, all that We the People Tyrant Wars did was offer information. That's it. Because the offer was made, they are now tied to child abduction. But then it wasn't We the People Tyrant Wars that was involved in child abduction. It was the other person. So what we're trying to say here is that he is very good with double talk, okay? And he will infer something, and then at the end, he will pull away from it and then say the truth. But in your mind, you're stuck in his inference in the beginning. But right there, he's saying that's only that person involved in child abduction. Interesting. Let's move on.
Was We the People Tyrant War? No. Yeah, fine. So Thomas Shrub, we got it. How was We the People Tyrant Wars involved in a child abduction that took place before he met the person who did the child, who was investigated for that, who allegedly abducted that child? How is We the People Tyrant Wars involved with that abduction?
Okay, now I'm going to pause there. He's stating how were we involved in it, the alleged child abduction, when we didn't meet that individual yet. That comment in itself is a flaw. That is a form of a defamation in a sense, because he is corroborating the fact that we did meet that individual, which we never met. So in that instance, he went with Mr. Thayer's story and stating that we knew that individual, but we did not. The question should have asked is, how does We the People Tyrant Wars know that individual? So at that point, if you are the audience and you're listening, now what you're hearing is, okay, We the People Tyrant Wars knows this person. No, We the People Tyrant Wars does not know that person. But he corroborated the lie, one of the lies that Bird was sharing with the people. So that one little statement tied us to that individual with no basis, no foundation, based on Mr. Thayer's original lie. So he carried the lie. Remember, we said about the repeater law. A person that repeats a lie is now liable for defamation. So we understand that he didn't mean it that way, right? But we just want to say this because we want people to be very careful in how you articulate things, because you could be taking ownership of something that you really don't want to take ownership of, right? So we understand that we taking it as a slip up. Not that he intentionally wanted to tie us to it, but he was just going with Bird's story. But while going with Bird's story, he corroborated something that he should not have corroborated. Because, I mean, the first thing that should have been asked was, where is it that We the People Tyrants stated that they were going to give all your personal information to said individuals? Not that we're offering it to everyone, even the person, offering public information, not all personal information. It's two different things, right? So remember, wording is very important, especially when it comes to court. So that's where the one flaw came in. He corroborated something he should not have corroborated, but we know that it was a mistake. So moving on.
So what abductions is he involved with?
I personally believe that someone like Tommy is waiting to abduct more kids.
No. What?
Now, what abduction? Now, remember, it's going based on that individual. That one individual was alleged to abduct a child, right? So he asked a clear question. Is We the People Tyrants was involved? And Mr. Thayer says, no, not in that abduction. Moving on.
I don't believe he was involved in that abduction.
So what abductions is he involved with?
I personally believe that someone like Tommy is waiting to abduct more kids.
No. What?
Now, we want to pause there because it's really important what he's saying. Because now he's creating a story, all right? He's stating he believes that the person that allegedly abducted a child is waiting to do it again. And since that person is waiting to do it again, we're going to be there to help him do it again. But that is a story he's making up in his mind. He's trying to tie things together that all started because of individual offered to give public information, which the state, city, and the governments do, which the websites do, which Google does, which he does when he talked about his business, when he talked about his lawsuit, when he was arrested. So, is he involved in child abduction because he was giving his public information out for the public to retrieve? Again, this is all stemming from one comment. It was a comment. That's it. How many of you have said something and not followed through? So should we say that a lot of you that threaten to do something to someone, should we now just say you are a murderer? Is that the logic? Because you said it, you become it, right? But what does offering public information make a person? That's a question, right? So in any case, he's stating since that person is primed to do it again, but that's his belief. He thinks that person may do it again. And since that person may do it again, We the People Tyrants is going to do it? How, I mean, is he in his mind? Like, the question is like, Mr. Thayer, do you know what child is going to be abducted next? And you're trying to pin it on somebody else? Are you in cahoots with that person? Because how would you know of an event that has not taken place yet? Strange, right? On a side note, we did not know, personally, we did not know that Mr. Thayer was part of that future special police force that's able to arrest people for crimes that have not been committed, like in Minority Report. We didn't know he was that special agent, that he can foretell the future. But possibly he is. Who knows? So anyway, moving on.
I don't believe he was involved in that abduction.
So what abductions is he involved with?
I personally believe that someone like Tommy is waiting to abduct more kids.
No. What abductions?
Okay. I would like to specify. I would like to specify and finish my
Historic
statement.
abductions. You understand, right?
I did not hear what you said. Say again.
Historic abductions, i.e., abductions that have already taken place.
I'm not saying there was any. Not on We the People's behalf. However, I do believe he's targeted. Historically, he has targeted children.
Now, we want to make a comment in regards to his saying that we targeted kids. How do we target kids? Remember what he said, that we were targeting kids by using CPS. I want you to really think about that.
Are you a lonely loser clown that preys on children by using CPS in ways that you shouldn't?
We targeted children by using the government. Not that we were going after them, right? That we used the government to abduct kids. Okay, alright. I guess that makes sense to some people. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. Whatever bullshit you're saying is relevant.
Not on We the People's behalf. However, I do believe he's targeted. Historically, he has targeted children.
There you go. Now think about that whole story about offering information to Mouse. Mouse knows an alleged child abductor, and then Mouse was stalking, he believes, Mr. 303's children. And because We the People started offering information, that tied them down to the alleged child abductor. And because of that, that alleged child abductor is primed to do it again. So we are going to help that individual abduct the child that we never did before. Okay? So This is really simple. We offered information to everyone. Everyone heard it, including Mouse. And because of that one statement, we were abducting kids. He said that to people. Come on. Then now, he's saying, no, we wasn't even involved in that alleged child abduction. And historically, and to that point, none was made by We the People Tyrant Wars. So how can you call someone something that you know they are not? You're saying they are, right? Then it goes back to the real reason he started the smear campaign. It was because we posted public information on Miss Loggins to demonstrate that her behavior online, the drinking, the staying up all night, may have contributed to her truancy charges in regards to her children not going to school. So we posted it to show everyone that she is an unfit mother. And because we did that, he got angry and he started the smear campaign, which failed miserably because not everyone sees him for what he is, a no one. Literally nothing. That's the reason why it all started.
Information of her address along with the educational institutions of her children. When he did that, I wrote him an email, told him that that's fucked up and that he was in the wrong and that he better fucking correct it. He chose not to. So in turn, I sent him an IP grab. He clicked the link. That turned into a whole thing with, you know.
Now I know you're wondering, why did we mention Miss Buckley? Moving on to the video.
The information you provided to Boss Bitch, what was that precisely?
What information did I provide to Boss Bitch?
Tell me.
You tell me.
Did you provide any information to Boss Bitch?
Not to my knowledge.
So, just to be clear, you provided no information. Hang on. I'm going to ask you. Yeah, whatever you're saying. Yeah. I can just mute you, Bert. And this isn't StreamYard, so just be.
But a simple no.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just be.
But a simple no.
Sure. Just be.
But a simple no.
There you go. So he asked me a simple question: did he offer that information to Boss Bitch, Miss Buckley? And he said absolutely no. It's a no. But it's strange that Miss Buckley at that time was communicating with Mr. Thayer, and Mr. Thayer was the one that started this abduction scheme. He's the one that started spinning it all out. Everyone, it started with him. So let's say he didn't even give that person that information personally. He still defamed and created a situation, illegal situation, right? So now, how does Miss Buckley comes into this? Well, this shows you how his logic was in regards to stating that We the People Tyrant Wars were involved in abductions, right? That's why this whole question and answer session started, because that was what everyone was hearing from him. So they wanted to get it out of the way, squash it. Let's talk about it. So at the end, there was no abduction. We never did an abduction. None, zero. Wasn't involved in anything. That's how it ended. After the whole story, after giving all those little hints, none. But then Miss Buckley wanted to take Rebel to court, right? So what did Miss Buckley do to sweeten her deal in regards to winning the case against Rebel? Now, the reason why she mainly won is because Rebel did not show up. So it was basically a default judgment. So the judge was not able to really get into the details of her allegations. But we want to show you what she told the judge. And you heard what Mr. Thayer said, right? He did not tell Miss Buckley anything. A lot of people saying that he did. I mean, but even if he didn't, remember the repeater law. Remember, who ignites the fire is responsible for the raging inferno afterwards. So now, this is what Miss Buckley said on her official court document on her protection order against Rebel. And this is what she wrote about We the People Tyrant Wars. So it starts from the bottom. You can read the rest and all that. But from the bottom, it says approximately around October 18th, 2022, Constantino gave my information to a known pedophiliac online, keyword known, pedophiliac online entity to do more harm to my business and to attack. Now, let's just bring that there. Constantino gave my information to a known pedophiliac online entity to do more harm to my business and to attack. Now, how does she know that Rebel gave us anything? How does that come about? Because it's strange that she says that, but if you go to her YouTube, she directs you to her Facebook, right? And you can pull up her business, and it has her name, her legal name, look right here. So how did Rebel give information that she was freely giving out to the public, right? Okay, so now let's start over. Approximately around October 18, 2022, Constantino gave my information to a known pedophiliac online entity to do more harm to my business and to attack my family. She added the family there. So she wanted to add Rebel with the family. Rebel was threatening her. She's basically saying that he is trying to hire us to attack her family as well, right? Because she said attack family. This entity has been tied to child abductions and child endangerment, as well as threats and harassment. This entity has been tied to child abductions and child endangerment as well, alright? So, where? How? Who was talking about child abductions? She put it on a court paper stating that it is a matter of fact that the entity has been tied to child abductions. Has been. And child endangerment. Threats is subjective. Harassment is subjective. Harassment requires a person to actually, keep bothering a person, right? We never bother anyone. We do our videos. You come and watch our videos, you're harassing yourself. I mean, there's no harassment. Harassment is when we kept going to her channel and kept saying something. She said, listen, leave me alone. Don't communicate with me anymore. And if we continue to do it, then you can see harassment, right? Threats? What threats we made? What is a threat, right? Threat is something to do some type of harm. If providing public information is a threat, then again, you have to go after the city that provided that information, right? You have to go after yourself for providing that information to the public. You have to go after every type of job validation, public information website on the whole internet. Take them to court and say they're threatening you because they're providing public information that you yourself provided to the public. So, can't really use those two. But the most important thing there is, people, is that the entity has been tied to child abduction. They have gross and vile content on their channel, and they condone awful and disgusting behaviors. I want you to look at our videos, and you need to tell us what is gross and vile. I mean, if anything is gross and vile, you think that the video YouTube wouldn't have taken it down? Because if it's still up now, then what you're saying is that YouTube is gross and vile, right? That's what you're saying, because YouTube didn't take it down. So yeah, you still don't have a case there either. So that is important, and the reason why that's important, that one statement, because it gives her story, the rest, so much more credibility, because she is stating that he is in contact with an entity that has been tied to abduction and child endangerment, which is threatening her family. That right there ties all her argument in. So of course they put that in there. And why would she do that? Why would she go out of her way to put that in there? Why? Did someone tell her, listen, if you want to make your argument stronger, put that in there? Someone had to culture into it. But who started it all? Mr. Thayer. Mr. Thayer. So at the end, people, this is what you have, okay? An entity offering personal information to everyone, including known pedophile information. And because of that, they became child abductors. But they never did any child abduction. They never were involved in the child abduction. Okay, so then how do you come to the conclusion that they are? All is because he stated he felt that the person that did the child abduction, he knew what he was going to do next, and he feels that that person is primed to do it again. And since that person is primed to do it again, that makes the person that offered public information culpable for a future possible child abduction. How? How does that work? So no abduction happened. No pedophilia has happened. He did that. And then at the end, he copped up and said, no, okay, yeah, they never did anything, but I feel they may do it. Well, I feel like you get fucked in the ass. Anyway, let's keep this professional. So, feeling is not factual. But, you see, this is why I tell all of you. You follow Mr. Thayer's lead, and look at what he said with Miss Buckley. He said he never gave her information. It's public. He said he never did it. What is she going to say? Well, yes, you did. Well, you have to prove it, right? And then he's going to turn around and say, well, you mistook what I said. And that leaves you, guess what? Because you ain't going to really do nothing to him. But on paper, Miss Buckley, you have committed perjury. And the reason why this didn't come to light, really, is because Rebel did not show up. That is what saved you. Because if this would have been entered as a testimony, this was a preliminary type of thing. You handed in, and then you discuss it. But you see, you put your initials and you dated it. And you handed it in as court evidence. Now, if they would have sat there and talked to you about it, that would have changed a lot of things also, right? But that is what saved you. So far. We're still trying to work different angles. So far. Okay? We are still... Yeah. So, that now, everyone, she is left with this. Just like all of you. You think we don't have you document the same and repeating the bullshit? So, yeah. So, Bird walks away. Clean. I never said that. I said possibly. I believe. And then Ms. Buckley said the entity has been tied to child abductions. How? And Ms. Buckley, we find it strange that you left one other thing out, right? Because you said in October, Rebel gave us your information, even though it's public. But we find it strange that you did not offer this video that we put up on him at the end of August, roasting him. So we roasted him. Look at that picture. So in turn, he contacted us to help in whatever. Did you put that there? How about the video that we posted in regards to his public information, right? I mean, so well, we roasted this person, shared public information, and in turn came to give us your information. Okay. So why did you leave that out? Why did you leave out? Because if you did put that in, then you see there's no way there was any type of relationship going on, right? None. How about all the other videos of him bashing us? How about that? You didn't put that there, did you? We told you we have a lot, and we still working on angles, but it's a lot you left out. A lot. Especially the fact that you were capitalizing on his grandmother's death by selling merchandise with his deceased grandmother there, and not just the face with bullet holes, eyes bleeding. I wonder how can that make a person angry? When someone is capitalizing and blasting everywhere a picture of their grandmother that passed away, which you continuously ridicule, but not even just ridicule, you went way above and beyond by selling his merchandise. So, a lot can say that his actions may be understandable. There's reasons behind it, right? It's like saying you push that person to the edge. Because normally the person may not have done that, but when you started to sell his deceased grandmother's picture on lighters, making fun of him on cups, that can contribute to someone's mental instability, in which you put it on the court documents that you're afraid that something's wrong with him. And, I quote, whereas I can most likely protect myself, my children cannot because they're left alone. I'm not there with them. I'm a mother like that. But anyway, I am in immediate and direct fear for my life and my children because this man who lives less than an hour from my home has threatened to come to my home, and he is clearly mentally unstable. Let's read it again. He is clearly mentally unstable. And this clearly mentally unstable individual you chastised, harassed, sold pictures of his deceased grandmother over and over again. But you are in fear of him because you are provoking, what did you say? A clearly mentally unstable individual. So you need help because you're provoking a clearly mentally unstable individual. You need protection. What about your fucking husband? Where the fuck is your husband? What, he's not there to protect you? But you left that out, right? You left out that there's a man in the house, right? But it's okay. It's okay that you are okay with provoking a clearly mentally unstable individual. Okay. I guess, yeah. Maybe he needed a protection order. But you left all that out. I'm just curious how you left all that out. Yeah. So, at the end, people, again, all that started with offering public information to everyone. And we mentioned Mouse because he thought he was going to use Mouse to try to shut us up. And we were going to make a point and say, you're not going to shut anyone up. If Mouse wants the information, it's public. It's public. It's there for everyone, even Mouse. That doesn't mean that we're going to give it all his personal information, but that was a statement, right? Something that if they wanted it, not a factual event, it was a proposal. But because of that, everyone went on the bandwagon that entity was abducting children, pedophiles, and they used CPS to target kids. Listen to that, people. An entity offered public information to everyone, and because of that, they were tied to child abductions, they were doing child abductions, and they targeted children using CPS, all because they offered public information. No more. That's it. Nothing else. Go ahead. I mean, you're trying to wrap that in, and then all of you went with it. We got it all. Okay, so this is what this is about. We finally did this breakdown on this video. It will stay there for the officials. It will be sent to all the judges or whatever that was involved, so they can hear what truly happened from his words. Especially that judge that he went there telling her about child abductions. Okay, so that's why this video was done. There's reasons why this video we're doing it now. Okay, it needs to be put out now. Long overdue. So there you go, people. You decide. We give you facts. They give you beliefs. You decide on your own. At the end, you can be held liable. If we wanted to come out, we can take all of you motherfuckers to court and charge you defamation and take every fucking little thing you have. We don't give a shit if it's a fucking pot that you piss in. If we can take it, we'll take it. Alright? Lawsuits, one, stays on file for years. And if you have a job, we'll garnish that shit. We'll force you to sell your house. We'll force you to sell your fucking car to pay us. And it'll be on your credit report. Think about that. And that's why we go back to saying, telling y'all should be on your knees thanking God that you don't know who we are. because half of you will be in jail. There's no doubt about that. You talk to a lawyer and tell him everything you have done and said, that harassment and all that, you and the threats, you would have been charged for something. We would have made sure of that. We would have made sure of that. In the next video, we're going to discuss that in regards to Rick Rude and We the People Tyrant Wars. What is it? What's up with them two? That's in the next video. Take care. Benny Bob's out.
United we stand, and united tyrants will fall. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed.